Listen to what the government wants before they can release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When Nnamdi Kanu renounces his agitation and apologizes to the nation, then a process of deradicalization can begin. The government may now decide if it intends for an alternative dispute resolution to be employed in his situation. It's not about his uncles, sisters, friends apologizing on his behalf and pleading for his freedom. He must first be born again before any other thing can follow. Presidential spokesperson Dr. Daniel Bwala reacts to calls for Nnamdi Kanu's release during his interview on News Central. They want Nnamdi Kanu to renounce Biafra before he can be released, and to me this is a pure impossibility. They are purely mad and wasting their time. By the time they and their families begin to die one after the other, they will be forced to set Mazi Nnamdi Kanu free and let Biafra go. Pharaoh of Egypt tried it, and you know how it ended. Stay tuned.
To deal with the situation in the southeast, some have said if you release this man, it would lead to peace, and those that have been committing criminality, hiding under IPOB, will be exposed. Is it not time we look at alternative dispute mechanisms to deal with the situation? Is it something the president might consider?
So everything in life begins with the person. Like, for example, are you a Christian?
Yes.
So there are people, they call them born again, right? Do you know how they became born again? They acknowledge their sins. They repented. They are forgiven. Their sins are forgiven, and then they become born again. Unless there is acknowledgement by the person in question, I am denouncing this. She talked about the deradicalization. Then government can intervene. You cannot sit where you sit holding that thought and position that is criminal, and then your uncle, your sister, your brothers are pleading with government to say bypass all protocol and forgive. First of all, our judicial system, Nnamdi will have to have gone through the judicial process and be convicted before the president can exercise the order.
But there's still the presumption of innocence. He can't admit to what hasn't been officially said is a crime.
So if you don't admit, run through the process. You see, this deradicalization we talked about, they were not yet charged to court. Some of them while in court. It's acknowledgement. If you don't want to acknowledge, what's the basis of saying I want to free him? Because some people say if you free him, we'll handle him.
So
what I'm trying to say is Nnamdi Kanu is not different from another average Nigerian. The press who emphasize on the right of the ordinary man, and when they ask government, they keep saying ordinary man, ordinary. You must talk about the real problem of ordinary people rather than certain individuals that are the symbol of catchphrase and buzzwords. Somebody has to acknowledge his wrong and said, I want peace with government. I want to renounce what I'm saying. And then you can say, okay, there is evidence cogent to say that this person wants to live his own ways.
So, in essence, I think the summary of what we're saying is that there's going to, the government, the Nnamdi Kanu is going to be detained, and that the presidency will not at any point step into the arena.
The villa is not a police station. The president is not a prosecutor. He's the president of Nigeria, tasked with responsibility to govern Nigeria. Law enforcement will carry out their work, and then people in government will carry out their work. I want to beg the Nigerian media to not choose certain individuals and treat them as more special than other individuals with the disproportionate application of principles. The ordinary man, when it comes to hunger, it is good for the optics to talk about them. When it comes to criminal justice system, you isolate certain individual. It's just like, let's say, corrupt people. Maybe there's a corrupt politician that's been in charge. Then some people will say, leave him. Meanwhile, the other people can be in detention. I made the point clear to you here. For deradicalization to take place, there has to be acknowledgement and departure from your old ways.
We get your message, sir. So,
thank you.
But that message, you don't know if it's for us. The message also should also be back. We have message.
No, it's actually Moses to you to tell them, because they told you and you asked me.
Yes, but we're also giving the message that we get from the people back to the government.
To the presidency. Which is
the presidency is that what we hear and the pulse we're getting from them is that we need to see the government cutting down on the cost of
that
government.
We discussed that for sure.
And not saying
effective communication of government policies, because there's a...
Why am I here?
Yes.
Only yesterday and today, I have granted interview. How many? We did podcasts, we did TV and all the places. What am I doing? I flew from Abuja. Communication. That's what I do. When the tax thing came, 32 interviews within 2 weeks.
All right.
We would always, and you're free anytime to call us.
We are going to call you back because we have a particular conversation that we would love to have with you, Mr. Bala. Thank you for your time with us this morning. And that does it for us here on Breakfast Central. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back.